This is the Independent Dealer Podcast. Education by dealers for dealers. Now, here are your hosts, Luke Godwin and Jeff Watson.
Hello and welcome to the Independent Dealer Podcast, brought to you by Buckeye Dealership Consulting. Luke, man, how's it going, man? How you doing?
I'm on the road, baby. It's
You got your haircut. That looks good.
Yeah, kind of high and tight. I got to get ready for Vegas next week, buddy.
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked, man. We head down this weekend, some Vegas stuff, getting ready for Buy Here, Pay Here United. You guys are going to hear this. Hopefully you're on an airplane headed to Vegas to meet up and have a good couple days out there.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. We've got Compliance Unleashed beforehand. Steve Levine, obviously you guys have picked up his book. You've read it. And we're going to get together and hang out. And that's the best part of this. Luke's coming up to St. George for a day or two. We're going to get some golf in, maybe go to the lake, do some surfing, play some pickleball. What do you think?
Let's do it, man. I love, so I played pickleball this last weekend. Yeah, I'm getting better.
Right. Yeah. We'll bring you to the courts and give you the run through. You know what the best thing about these things are, Luke? It reinvigorates me to the business. And honestly, guys, if you haven't been to convention, whether it's state, national, Buy Here, Pay Here United, Used Car Week, Compliance Unleashed, so many opportunities to get together with other dealers and commiserate about our issues, drag each other down, but also build each other up and get remotivated.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Burnout's a big deal in our industry, and it's a big deal in any industry, but it's getting, this time of the year, it takes its toll. You just came off of hopefully a really good first quarter. Cars are hard to buy, especially with tariffs. That's created another issue, but then you got to pay your taxes. You got to pay what you owed from last year. Then you got to pay your first quarter withholdings. It's a bear. And in Buy Here, Pay Here, if you use a bunch of your cash to get through that first quarter, it's even tougher. So people can really start to get down, and hopefully you come to these conventions and it gets you back up and gets you motivated again.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. And so speaking of that, it is the first quarter, which is prime time to just be stressed out at all ends, right? If you're retail, you're really hoping that tax time hits. You're heavy on inventory. Like you said, you've got cash going out all directions, right? Because you're stocking up on inventory. All your flooring lines are at their extent of their days because you stocked up in December or January. You've got old age units that you're stressing about. I don't know if I'm going to move that freaking transit van. It's been here. It's almost had a birthday. I've had that stupid thing. And so, some of those things stress you out, but then like income tax, man, why can't I find a good accountant? Like, why am I texting him at 5:00 yesterday saying, hey man, you going to file an extension or what's up? And then,
but it's kind of like finding good accountants. It's kind of like us trying to find good employees. It's hard. And, it's, what are you going to do? They have too much work and not enough people. So I get it, man. They got it burning from both ends too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just want someone just make me a priority. Just call me, just text me. So I'm logging in last night at like 11:45 Eastern time, trying to make my tax payment because apparently that's supposed to happen. You'd think at this age, I've been paying taxes for friggin' 25 years. Like, you think I would know that I need to make my payment at least if they're going to extend my taxes. So I'm trying to log in, and sure enough, site doesn't work, down for maintenance or something. So whatever, I'll pay my penalty. Those types of things wear on you, man. They wear on you, and it's tough. So let's talk about some tips to stay motivated in the business and avoid the burnout, because we know you burnt out. Luke threw in the towel. He's done. He gave up. What were the things that at least got you to 35 years? Because you probably could have thrown in the towel 10 years ago, 5 years ago. I could have thrown the towel in now. I'm going to push through another 5 or 10 years. But I got to find those things that keep me motivated and keep me in the business and keep me excited.
The biggest thing that I see going to other dealers that can just kill motivation and burn you out the quickest is being unprofitable.
Oh, I mean, that's number one. That's huge.
It's
if you're
number
losing
one.
Money, you're on a sinking ship. Nobody wants to be on a sinking ship.
And unfortunately, there's dealers that have been in business for 20 and 25 years. Next thing you know, they have a bad year and they lose money, and then they don't do anything to adjust it. They're like, oh, it's going to fix itself. And then in the next year, they lose money again. And that nest egg that they had built up, it starts to unravel. because they're having to pour money in, and really the best thing they can do is fix the problem. But what happens is they get demotivated and they throw the towel in.
Well, you don't
Unfortunately,
know how to. I mean, dealers aren't unprofitable just because they're complacent or lazy. Well,
no,
maybe
no.
they are, but sometimes you don't know how to fix the problem. You don't
Yeah,
know
and then you hire me and I come in and help you try to fix the problem. These things happen, and unfortunately, our business changes. And if you're not going to convention, if you're not talking to other dealers, and if you're not involved, you don't see the trends changing before it's too late. And then all of a sudden, somebody moves into your town and outwits you, and you've lost that market share that you had for so many years.
Yeah, it's so true. And we see that on the Facebook group all the time. Hey man, how is everyone's tax season? This is slower than tar or molasses going up a hill. Like, and then someone else chimes in and they're like, best month ever. And I'm like 50 miles from you. So how does that happen? Right? How does that happen?
It happens because you took your eye off the ball. You didn't prepare for tax season, which I see a lot of dealers doing. There's out a dealer this week who did prepare for tax season. They killed it, right? They had a really good tax season, but now they're in April and they don't have any cars. That is the best situation to be in. Now, it might hurt your April, but it's a great situation to be in. This dealer's profitable and they're doing things the right way, and they're on a good trajectory. But the people who waited till February to worry about tax season, they didn't have a good tax season.
Yeah. And what's funny to me, so I spoke to a dealer yesterday that I was helping with some of that EV tax credit stuff. And we just kind of started chatting about things. And he's been in the business a long time. Same situation, kind of struggling with burnout. But one topic we got on was the art of losing money on a car and just knowing that you have to turn. And I think that's one of the biggest things the dealers get stuck in is it's like, well, I have to get 18 grand for that because I'm into it 18. Like, no, you need to turn inventory. And that's crucial from a retail standpoint, pretty important from a buy here, pay here. But that motion, that excitement, that freshening up your lot, the salesman getting something done, like all of that motion creates momentum.
Yeah, and I would even tell you to not even allow your salespeople to see what you have in a car. Just block it. They can't see it, and it doesn't matter if you win or you lose because they're looking for these big grosses that don't matter. So maybe you need to change your pay structure, or maybe you just need to block what they see, price the cars right, and get them out. For sure, that stale inventory will cause all kind of problems. And taking first profit's best profit, first loss best profit, best loss. You always got to remember that.
Yeah, that is true. I have that issue because of my buy here, pay here mentality. I think there's a butt for every seat, and eventually someone's going to want that, Malibu with the bad paint. Probably not true because guess who's going to buy it? Somebody I don't want in it. So I got to turn it. And if I got to cash sale it and retail it just to get it out of here, or heaven forbid, wholesale it and take a loss, like I need that parking space to have a Honda Accord in it.
Yes, that's right. And I would argue also take it and send it to Mako or one of those places, put a $300 paint job on it, price it extremely low retail, like $2,500 cash or $3,500 cash. Burn it out, get it out of there because turn that cash into better inventory.
Yeah, and part of this, and part of it is having your reinsurance company. You can still capture some money. It doesn't have to be a loser. If you can sell some back end product, obviously you've got your Buckeye, and you're going to sell them a warranty. You're going to sell them gap. You're going to do something to try to capture some money, even on a loser.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Even in the retail side, because you're selling vehicle service contract and maybe some gap, and then on the buy here, pay here side, the gap and the CPI, there's always ways to make money, even if you're losing on the front end of the cars.
Yeah. So what else are you seeing, Luther? What have you done other than being profitable, which is I get that's a mountain of an obstacle to climb. Like that's not something we're just going to flip a switch tomorrow and it's going to be on. But what other tools or tricks or things have you done to stave that off?
Expenses being too high. You got to keep your expenses low. And this kind of goes to the profitability side. But if you feel like you're paying everybody but yourself, that will burn you out really quickly. And so keeping those expenses low, your floor plan, if you have to have one, don't load up if you don't need all those cars. Some dealers think that, oh, I'm going to sell 30 cars a month. I need 60. Well, figure out how to do it at 40, right? Keep those expenses low because the lower your expenses are, the more chances you have to be profitable, but the less stress it puts on your mentality, and the stress on your mentality is what creates the burnout.
Well, how do you balance that? So my argument is Expenses on personnel, right? So if you're trying to run too lean of a ship, you're wearing too many hats, and that's
Yeah.
going to cause burnout from you and your staff, right? Because you're like, oh, I
Mhm.
need to fire this guy, and I'm just going to spread his responsibilities out because I got to be lean on my expenses. Luke told me so, and now all of a sudden I'm wearing 5 hats, and I'm here 7 days a week, 12 hours a day because I don't
Well,
have
I
enough.
think, yeah, I think there's a balance. Pay your really good people a lot of money, um, but get rid of the ones who are creating problems for you.
Hmm.
Um, just use your resources to the best of your ability, and most people probably have too many employees. Now, sometimes you go into places and they have too few employees, which creates stress as well. So I think it's a fine balance, but you can look at expenses that you don't need, some advertising that maybe you don't need, or some software that you don't need. The first place I would cut is not with people. I would cut, unless you have bad people, cut those, but other other expenses go out the way first.
Yeah, you're talking about your softwares, and that's one thing we've talked about this in previous episodes. You need to do quarterly or annually audits on all your expenses. Pull all your credit card statements, look at your QuickBooks line by line by line by line, sit down with your staff and say, do we still use this product? Let's look at an invoice for the, uniforms in the shop. Like, why has that ballooned to $1,000 a month? Because we're ordering rugs and mops and uniforms for everyone that doesn't need to have it, because those
Yeah.
guys just want to sell more stuff. So they just keep selling
Hmm.
you guys more stuff. Why do we have 3 different softwares back there? Guess what? So that's a whole episode in itself, which
Yeah.
about um, what
Are
I think,
using
you don't have too many employees, Luke. I think you have inefficient employees,
For sure, for sure.
right? It's like they're used to coming in and having an 8-hour shift, but burning 4 of those hours chit-chatting or shopping Facebook because they haven't been delegated enough responsibilities and held accountable on the productivity. And I think the D word is a dealer's biggest downfall, is the delegation word. We all think we can do it all. We all think we can do it better. We all want to take it on ourselves. We don't want to teach and delegate and follow up. And I think that is the real killer. Like that is the Achilles
Yeah,
heel of burnout.
I agree. I agree. If you don't have people doing the minutia that you're doing, that creates burnout. And honestly, there are so many ways to use AI right now to help your employees, and they may not know how to use AI. So if you can go in there and teach them how to do certain reconciliations using AI, or to write certain descriptions using AI, or to build spreadsheets using AI, or let AI make your spreadsheets better. These are things that can save so much time in your dealership that we're not doing. We need to really focus on using AI to help us and to help our employees. And it's super easy to use and it's cheap to use. So I'd encourage everybody to really delve into an AI product to make you more efficient.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for that integration. We talk to dealers and vendors all the time about how are we using it to be more efficient, and we do know dealers who have used it who have found softwares that work well, and they've used it to be more cost effective. To eliminate entire BDC departments, 5 or 6 employees, and
Yep.
go down to like 2 employees because they're using technology and AI to be more efficient. It helps your employees from burnout. I think it helps you in a way of, like you said, being more efficient. Have I delegated enough responsibilities to the point where if I'm gone for a period of time, uh, will my dealership burn to the ground? Or will everything keep humming along and I'll be just, when I go on vacation, like I was gone all last week, my dealership does better when I'm gone. Like there's only about 2 or 3 things that I have to be here to do. I've got a little stack of titles I need to sign off on. I've got charge offs I need to process, and I've got a couple bills. And those are
Yeah.
really, and I guess buying the majority of the inventory is still mine. So I have 4 or 5 crucial functions at the dealership, but everything else, like my guys have the authority to
Well,
handle.
yeah, you're going to the third thing that eliminates burnout, Jeff, when you're talking
Mhm.
about your processes and your procedures. If you don't have good processes and procedures, you're destined for burnout.
Mhm.
And having those things in place, that you know what your responsibility is, your other employees knows what their responsibilities are, and you have a procedure that they follow to get those done, that will help eliminate burnout.
Yeah. And one thing is when we talk about those softwares, like I know with my collector and obviously our plug for Blytzpay and being a payment processor, right? I mean, it helps her be more efficient. So when I'm gone, There's not like, we have very few in-office payments anymore, right? We're directing everyone to self-help through their portal
Yep.
or the cash network. And that really, really helps because now I don't have to have just a payment processor. Like back in the day, you had to have a clerk that was just processing payments on Friday morning. And that would be the majority of their day is just running different credit cards. It's such nonsense. So now my front desk girl doesn't have to worry about just running credit cards. She's handling all the insurance. She's handling CPI claims. She's handling warranty stuff. She's doing a lot more, titles. She's handling all this stuff and not just being a clerk.
Yeah, I had this discussion with a dealer this week, that they essentially have one person. All they do is take cash all day long, and
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, y'all really need to get away from this, because it's an inefficient way to handle this, and they weren't doing other things that could help them
Yeah.
in this process. And it's Blytzpay is great for that, and I can't wait to see what their AI is going to do. And I've started using AI to help me with the deposits that are coming in there. So really, really neat stuff that I think the Blytzpay is going to do in the future. That's going to be great.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to talk about is, we talked about being profitable. We talk about, expenses play into that. We talk about delegation and, dealers offloading some of the, responsibilities they don't enjoy as much. Now, we say all that and that's easy to say when you're running a profitable dealership, right? I have the ability to pay my top guys really well to handle things when I'm gone. That wasn't always the case, right? When I started, I was paying myself, $3,000 a month,
Yeah.
very minimum, keeping everything in the business. I was there. We were grinding, all that stuff. So when we say this, guys, when you're listening, don't think that you're going to get there in the first 2 to 3 to 5 to 10 years, right? Like
Yeah.
unfortunately, you are going to be grinding. You are going to be there 7 days a week. You may not be profitable and it may all fall on you and you're not taking a week-long vacation. I get it. Like, don't get the cart before the horse.
Yeah. I don't think my dad took one for 20 years.
Yeah, it's a different mentality. But with that being said, there are things that dealers need to do. And I want to split this into two parts. There's purpose in the dealership and there's purpose outside the dealership, right? I think you have to have a bigger purpose. And the dealers that really thrive, I think, past the 35, 40-year mark, not just the old school dogs that know they're going to die at their desk because that's just how
Yeah.
it is, but the new school dogs that say, I'm here for a purpose. Like I'm growing people. I'm growing a charitable organization inside my dealership. I'm growing this place to be a leader, to put leaders into positions to help maybe dealers, my employees open their own dealership someday, right? Or be
Yeah.
contributing in society. Like there's so many internal purposes we can have and also external purposes that our
Yeah.
dealers facilitate for us, right? Speak to that.
Yeah, I think that's if you go back way back in the day and listen to the how I built this with Eric Freeman. Eric is a person who really has thought about this, and he wanted to open new dealerships to help the people, the great people he had working for him, and he also was very working to support these causes outside the dealership. It's so important. If you don't have a purpose and your purpose is only to make money, you're going to burn out at some point. So you got to do that.
Yeah. What are you like in a Sky Lounge or something?
Well, yeah, and we got some folks behind us just make a lot of noise, and we're back here in the business center. So
who knows? Yahoos to chill out. Say we're recording.
Yeah, they're a little bigger
back there. Just give them the stink eye. And we do that, guys. And so many dealers, we see that they have charitable arms of their organization, right? And we talk about millennial workers wanting to work for a purpose and not just a paycheck. That's hard, man. I get it. We're not saving the planet. We're not cleaning baby ducks with oil. We're not like saving the fishes or whatever. But we can do things inside of our dealership to make sure that we have employees that are excited, that we have a bigger purpose, that maybe even ourselves, we get excited to go to work because we know that we're dealing with our work family that we enjoy. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that we have 100% control over. You are the owner. Yeah. You can. If you've got a bad apple, get rid of them. If you go to work, you don't want to talk to somebody or you don't get along or this person doesn't mesh or they don't bring you joy, like you can let them go. You can find someone else. Like don't come to the office and hide yourself in your own room because you don't want to interact with the Karen that happens to be working your front desk.
And more than likely, other people in the office will have the same thought. And so if you don't get rid of them, you're going to probably lose some of your good people. So make sure that culture is so important. And we talk about this, and it's one of those things that's really hard to figure out. But if you have one bad person, they're going to ruin your culture. So if you think they're bad, the rest of the people probably think they're bad too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like they talk about family, but it's the kind you can pick, like you can fire your mother-in-law, but you can fire, your salesman who's being a jerk to people and isn't a team player and is just a big grouch the whole time, like brings the attitude down. So surround yourself with those good people and then find those activities outside of the dealership. So I want to talk on that a little bit. I take a lot of time off right now. Luckily, I'm able to do that. And we have purpose outside the dealership, vacation, travel. My wife and I enjoy that. A lot of family stuff, a lot of church related activity. I find a lot of joy in that side of the spirituality and the church stuff. And to be honest, when I go and I'm gone for a while, I come back remotivated to work the dealership. And it's not just going to dealer conventions or things like that. Sometimes it's just going out and sitting by the pool for 3 or 4 days, right? And just being able to unwind and unstress and then come back and make sure that I'm not the grouchy one in the office. That's so hard. Sometimes I come in here and I'm just so head down, don't bother me, don't come into my office, don't bug me. And I know that's not a good vibe for the dealership. When I come in, it's the negative one.
Yeah, for sure. You can't ever do that as the owner. And when you do, you need to take a vacation. One other thing, you talk about the spirituality part of it, and you and I both are big on this, but find a Bible study midweek that you can go to. That's what I've done, and going there and talking with a bunch of guys and sitting there, and you can kind of get your stuff out there, and then also you can go back to your office rejuvenated in the afternoon. So there's so many ways to do that, and also to participate in giving in your community. Big deal too. So those will give you purpose, and it'll be a reason to make money if you can give it away.
Yeah. What we've done is a little side note that's kind of fun here. I buy those like remote control airplanes, remote control cars, like the little crawlers. So me and my top guys, we just kind of got a little habit of like, middle of the day, we'll go out with these little RC cars that go like 50 miles an hour and we'll just rip them through the parking lot.
Oh, that's so great.
We'll get together after work with these little rock crawler RCs. And then it's like a small toy. And of course we take the side-by-sides out. We take the Jeeps out on the weekend, but sometimes that midday, go to the park and fly some stupid remote control airplane. That's exciting for me. It's exciting for my guys. We have fun. Maybe for y'all, it's something else. Maybe it's bowling. Maybe it's going out shooting. Maybe it's, going to the bar for a couple of minutes. Just being able to take a break, and yes, you've got 50 things on your desk right now, but go, like, take your guys to lunch, chill out. Like, you need that.
A really good friend of mine has this saying. He goes, "That's tomorrow Luke's problem. That's not today's Luke's problem." And he's one of the happiest people I know. So just keep that mindset that that stack of paper on your desk probably not going to get any lower. So just keep doing the things that make you happy. At some point you're going to have to get things done, but be happy and have your people happy, and you won't burn out. I promise.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, safe travels. See you in a couple days.
All right, man. See everybody out there, and look forward to it. We got to get a bunch of interviews out there. So anybody want to talk to us while we're out there, walk up to us, say hello, and let's do it.
Yep. Okay. See ya.
Thank you for listening. Please leave us a review. We'll catch you in the next episode.